So my name is Max Cohen. I'm the president of Meridian Recycling, and we're a recycling company that had, I would say, a unique set of needs in terms of what our software was, compared to what the traditional scrapyard has been defined as for the last 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
And we went through a very long, exhaustive process to conclude that ScrapRight was going to be a company that was going to work with us to, kind of adapt to what our unique needs
So
were.
let's back up a little bit before that.
Yeah.
You guys went looking for software,
Mm-hmm.
and when you did, how many software companies do you think that you talked to?
We went to ISRI in Vancouver, which was in April.
Which I think we talked there.
We met briefly in April.
Yeah.
We walked by and talked to 4 or 5 other people.
Okay.
Other of the competitors. Some of them were designed for very large companies, hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment. And then some of them were probably far less equipped to deal with what we needed than what we wanted. So we talked to and tried to work with, I would say, the full spectrum of designs.
Did you then have a demo with each one of those companies, or a couple of those companies? How many people did you guys demo with?
We demoed with 2 people only. And if I could go back and do it again, I would have taken an hour to demo each one of the software companies' material, in depth.
Yeah.
Because if a demo at an ISRI convention is going to show you just a sliver of what the full spectrum of.
Only to show you the best, right?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
what they do.
or the thing that shows you how easy it is to use.
Yeah.
But you don't know what the rest of what is entailed in the rest of the operations of the software.
Yeah, I would say even as an owner myself of one of the software companies, I would say we go to ISRI to put on the best show that we possibly can.
Right.
The slick it, look the best, have the best presentation,
right.
Have a good looking booth, and it's not always the most conducive environment to drill down, especially for somebody like you guys. There have been times I've been at the show, and I'll have 20 or 30 people from different yards all stand around, but they all do the same thing. You guys don't necessarily do the same thing.
Right, and we made a mistake because we went to ISRI thinking that we kind of did do the same thing as a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And that the software would be easy to use, some leading software, to implement and start using the next step. And you really need to look at what you're buying and go through step by step what your own company's operations are, and make sure that the company that you're buying the software from is really a good fit, start to finish, and not just whatever you see in the 15 minutes at the convention with the beer in your hand. So,
So you guys initially made a decision to go with one of those 2 companies.
Right. Yep.
And it ended up being a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, so we chose to go with probably one of the few companies that had been doing this for the longest amount of time. It was perfectly configured throughout the last 10, 20 years to service the needs of the traditional peddler-based scrap recycling model. And I can say that for that use, if you are a single yard or maybe even multiple yard facility and your bread and butter is the peddler, then this software would probably work for you, and it probably has worked, right?
Or even probably not just peddler, because I know a lot of yards would think peddler. Well, that's the homeless guy. That's the mom and pop cleaning out their garage.
And they are.
But some of them also do some commercial. But it's not like you guys. You guys buy primarily from those guys, right?
Right. So for us, that's where the differences start. Is that we are a facility that's not open to the public. We do business-to-business transactions, whether that is only 2 boxes of aluminum or a few aluminum wheels from a business, or it's a full mixed load, 53-foot van trailer, 40,000 pounds coming into our yard. And that's the spectrum of people that we deal with.
Yeah.
And for that need, the software that we chose, I can tell you, was not tailored at all to what we were looking for.
So it probably could help you on those guys bringing 2 rims in.
Mm-hmm. It would.
But the 53-foot van trailer, full of already finished goods,
correct,
baled or boxed or whatever, that wasn't set up primarily to handle that kind of a customer.
No, and so the heart of the problem is that we are both a brokerage company who will export full containers or move a full load of aluminum from Chicago to Tennessee, and we move material also into our facility. So the business to business, all the different clients, the suppliers, all the different buyers, you have to be able to receive or buy and sell material and operate in that software environment and feel comfortable and efficient. And the software that we initially went with was not set up to be able to handle all these different moving parts from all these different locations and businesses. And it was a problem, from day one.
Or maybe it could, you just needed a college level education to be able to do it.
You need a programming education to be able to go and take what is a very fixed product and alter it to meet your needs. And it really depends. You can't expect the average owner of a metal recycling business to be able to look at a piece of software and know how meldable it is. How can we fit it to what we need? You don't know if you can make that transition or not.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then you're just stuck doing it the way that software has been designed. And now you will just have to run your business the way that software dictates that you need to run it. And we didn't want to do that.
For the past 60 years.
Yeah, we didn't want to do that. We had a business that we ran the way that we thought was best.
Yeah.
And all the customers that we do business with also think that they know how to run their business as they should.
Right.
So they want a product that will meet their needs.
I think one of the last things business owners want to hear is that you don't know what you're doing and that you should do it a different way.
well, we got told, when we were having problems, we got told that, we should be happy that we don't need to write our weights down anymore on a piece of paper, right? And so, if all we're looking to do is accomplish something with a very, all of the software costs money, whether it doesn't matter who you work with, we're investing a lot of money.
Yeah.
We should be getting more value than just being able to leave the pen and paper age behind us. Right. You would think.
You could have done that with a spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel for $80.
Yeah, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
We started doing that ourselves, but we made a commitment to the other company, the same way we made a commitment to ScrapRight, and we had expectations. And if you have a peddler base or with industrial accounts maybe also, then there's a lot of options for you, a lot of different products. But if you want something that's going to really be adaptable, something that is easily reconfigured for what you need, then we chose ScrapRight because we felt like we could achieve that.
So let's come up to that. So you and I catch up, and you said, "Hey, can I come see you tomorrow at your office?" And we sit down. What kind of experience did you have then with ScrapRight, or rather, what was the difference between that experience and the experience that you had up until that point, and even going forward? Is there a marked difference in that experience?
I think that it's easy to separate the experience into two pieces. One experience is, as a business owner, I look at my employees and how do they interact with the kiosk and how do they interact with the software and how easy is it for them to learn, right? And I needed to evaluate that. With the previous company, it was a problem from the beginning. The employees were entering information wrong, tickets were printing out and they didn't have the right information, things were not getting put into inventory, and it's easy to blame the people who are working for you, but the system needs to be set up so that they don't make mistakes.
In just a minute, when they're entering the wrong information and putting the wrong information on tags and that's going into inventory wrong, how many dollars are we talking about in inventory?
Well,
we're talking about a considerable amount of inventory.
Well, hundreds of boxes were entered incorrectly. So then you have to go back and redo hundreds of boxes, and that takes hours and hours and hours of time and equipment use and so on and so forth. So, you're never going to recover that time lost, but you sure want to learn from your mistakes. And the reason I'm sitting here with you today is so that other people do not commit tens of thousands of dollars to something that is not for them.
Yeah.
It's a big investment.
So you started to say that marked experience difference in ease of use.
Ease of use was, when I used ScrapRight, was what I expected it to be, which was the person at the kiosk can go in, put a box or something, anything else on the scale, get a tag on it and get it put away, and that's it. As quickly and easily as possible with as few deviations that would lead him or her to incorrectly enter.
Opportunities for error.
Opportunity for human error is always going to be there, and I wanted
So you wanted dummy proofed.
wanted dummy proof.
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
And it should have been dummy proof the first time when we bought the other company's software, but it was anything but. So the first piece of the evaluation, from my perspective, was how do the people who work with us, our employees, how do they use it, and what's the ease of use. The other part of it is then, what is the ease of use and value for me as the business owner to evaluate how our business is running using the software, and how is the office, our back office, how are they using the software, and how are they able to make their day efficient as well. And that is where I saw the biggest difference. Both companies should have had a kiosk or some kind of kiosk system that would work, right? But from the back office perspective and from my perspective, when you see ScrapRight's the inventory interface, for example, it's a big, easy to understand summary of a lot of the most important vital details of what you have in inventory, how much did you buy it for, how much have you sold, what is the profitability. The amount of easily understandable information that is arranged in an efficient manner on your screen is what makes you look at it and say, this is why I spent the money.
And you're saying that on the other software package, that was a very difficult process to find that information.
It was a very difficult process to find the information. Speaking from the perspective of a metal recycling business, the software that I tried was either far too complicated, like a SAP system that a Fortune 500 company would run, and you're just running a facility or two facilities, right?
Yeah.
Or it was built on a very archaic platform that did not allow for the type of innovations or changes that are needed in today's scrap business environment. So for us, ScrapRight was right, it kind of hit the sweet spot, because when we wanted a customization done on any piece of the software, you work with someone from ScrapRight, they get it done very quickly. It helps that it's a browser-based thing, because they go right in, they make the changes, and the next day they update it and it works. And as the business evolves, I felt confident, and I still do, that the changes will be made as and when it's needed.
Sure.
So that's a tremendous value for me.
Well, I would say in turn, and we've said this to a lot of customers, that the information you bring us, we don't run a brokerage house. We don't run a business-to-business facility that's buying from yards, 53-foot van trailers, and to have that information, to have you guys come to us and say, hey, this is really what we need. Right. This is how it works in our world. That kind of information we can't get any place but from you, and when you bring that to us, it makes our software more valuable, I feel, and more able to meet the needs on the market. Yeah. So I feel like we built our software package based on input from our customers that have said, hey, this is great for all those yards that still do things 60 years ago. Right. But here's what we need. Right.
So the things that have been done for the last 60 years in the scrap business, the peddler and the industrial account and all those things, they still work, perfectly in ScrapRight. We will, in the future, incorporate those types of business activities into what we do. But the real challenge was...
It's a real life scrapyard happening out there.
Yeah, right. The real challenge was that, that we needed all the other business activities that maybe people have not been doing. Yeah. We need the brokerage. Yeah. We need, all the export loading details, whether it's going to China or India. We need all of that automated for us. We don't want to spend time worrying about the loading photos, worrying about the documentation.
If they're done or not done, knowing that they are. Yeah.
And we should be able to put as many of our business activities into ScrapRight's system and have it be efficient. Yeah. And that's why ScrapRight is able to absorb a wider range of business activities into their environment than the other companies, that I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Max, thank you very much.
Yeah, no,
appreciate your time today.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to work with you guys on what's going to be a piece of software that will continue to be, at the cutting edge, I hope, of how the industry develops. So.
Well, we're glad to have you on board as a partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah.